So, another day and another recording. Today we're once again going to go through Seneca on the shortness of life. It's going to be part 4. Yes, it's going to be part 4, and I'm really looking forward to going through more of it, because some paragraphs are indeed quite amazing. Some others I just don't understand, and some others is like, yeah, you don't say. Just some obvious shit. But anyway, nor should you imagine that those people aren't sometimes conscious of their loss. Certainly, you'll hear many of those burdened by their great prosperity occasionally cry out amid their hordes of clients or their pleadings of cases or their other respectable forms of wretchedness. I have no chance to live. Of course, you don't. All those who engage you in that business disengage you from yourself. How many days did that defendant of yours take from you? How many that candidate or that old lady, worried as she is by burying her hers, whatever. Or that character who feigns illness to excite the greed of legacy hunters, or that powerful friend who holds on to you not for true friendship but for show. Check off, I say, and review the days of your life. You'll see that very few of them, and those the worthless ones, have stayed in your possession. The man who's achieved the high office he'd prayed for longs to lay it aside and repeatedly says, "When will this year end?" The man who puts on the games thought it a great privilege that responsibility for giving them fell to him. Now he says, "When will I be free of them?" That advocate has people competing for his attention throughout the forum. With the crowd he draws, he fills the whole place further than he can be heard. When, he says, will there be a vacation? Everyone senses life racing headlong and suffers from a longing for the future, a loathing of the present. But the person who devotes every second of his life or time to his own needs and who organizes each day as if it were a complete life neither longs for nor is afraid of the next day. For what new kind of pleasure is there that any hour can now bring? For the rest, fortune may make arrangements as it wishes. His life has already reached safety. Addition can be made to this life, but man who is already satisfied and full takes a portion of food which he doesn't crave and yet has room for it. So there's no reason to believe he has not lived long but long existed. For suppose you thought that the person had sailed for who'd been caught in a savage storm as soon as he left harbor, and after being carried in this direction and that, was driven in circles over the same course by alternatives of the winds raging from different quarters. He didn't have a long voyage, but he was long tossed about. I'm always astonished when I see people requesting the time of others and receiving a most accommodating response from those they approach. Both sides focus on the object of the request and neither side on time itself. It is requested as if it were nothing, granted as if it were nothing. People trifle, I guess, with the most precious commodity of all, and it escapes their notice because it is an immaterial thing that doesn't appear to the eyes, and for that reason it's valued very cheaply, or rather it has particularly or practically no value at all. People set very great store by annuities and gratuities, and for these they hire out their services or their efforts or their attentions. But no one values time or use it more than lavishly, as if it cost nothing. But if mortal danger threatens them, you'll see the same people clasping their doctor's knees. If they fear a capital charge, you'll see them ready to spend all they have to stay alive. So great is the conflict in their feelings. But if each of us could see the number of years before us as precisely as the years that have passed, how alarmed would be those who saw only a few years left, and how carefully would they use them. And yet it is easy to manage an amount, however small, which is clearly defined. We have to be more careful in conserving an amount that may give out at any time. Yet there is no reason to believe that those people are unaware of how precious a commodity time is. They habitually say to those they love most intensely that they are ready to give them some of their own years, and they do give them without knowing it, but they give it in such a way that without adding to the years of their loved ones, they subtract from themselves. But this very point, namely, whether they are depriving themselves, eludes them, and so they bear the loss of what goes unnoticed in the losing. No one will bring back the years, no one will restore you to your former self. Life will follow the path on which it began, and it will neither reverse nor hold its course. It will cause no commotion at all. It will call no attention to its own swiftness. It will glide on in silence. It will prolong itself at neither a king's command nor his people's clamor. It will run on just as it started out on the first day, with no diversions and no delays. With no. And the outcome? You've been preoccupied while life hurries on. Death looms all the while, and like it or not, you have to accommodate it. We are all gonna die. It is what it is, and one can be fine with it and accept that, or one can be just horrified by it, or whatnot. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna end the episode. A relatively short one, as I assume. But it is what it is. Gonna see you next time. Bye bye.